Well, welcome everyone. My name is Casey Johnson. I am a health coach with Lifewave. And I want you to think about something real quickly here before we begin. Have you ever thought about being at the right place at the right time at such a time as this? Well, we sure hope that is today. We have some of the very best speakers and teachers in the health and wellness uh, that you're going to be able to hear today. We have, golly, just a full packed lineup of information that we're going to get out to you. But first of all, I want to introduce to you somebody very special to Cindy and I. But before we get started, I want to make sure that if you're online today doing this Zoom, up at the right-hand corner, you want to make sure that you're on speaker view. On the right-hand side, it's going to say view, and just look that little drop-down bar and make sure you're on speaker view. But with that being said, I want to introduce to you and talk a little bit about Dr. Stacy that we've known for a couple years. She holds 2 PhDs. One is in integrative medicine and one in functional medicine. She also has a master's degree in education. So we're in for a treat because she's not only a great teacher, but she really knows this business backwards and forwards. She also is a life coach, and she's also an author, believe it or not, of Beyond Keto. She's one of the people that they call when David Schmidt, our inventor, cannot do his monthly podcast, they will call on Dr. Stacy. She holds a seat representing the brand partners on the board of directors right here at Lifewave. A couple other things. She lives in Sarasota, Florida with her husband, Brent, and her son, Trey. But right off the bat, Dr. Stacy, if you would be so kind, could you share with us a little bit about this amazing technology with the light?
Absolutely. Thank you, Casey, for that amazing introduction. Thank you all for being here this morning. We're excited to share with you what we have planned. So, I want to talk to you, first of all, about David Schmidt, who he is, who Lifewave is, and how I came to find this company, this technology, and how this can, of course, benefit you before I turn it over to Dr. Don and let him share with you a little bit in depth with the science and tech. So, David Schmidt is the owner of Lifewave. He is the CEO of Lifewave. He's also the inventor of Lifewave's technology. Now, not very often do you find an owner of a company, a CEO who's running the company that's actually inventing the technology in the company. Usually, in companies, of course, people are purchasing, outsourcing ingredients, different types of things, bringing it together, and someone's overseeing that, right, as the CEO. Not David. David has been an inventor his entire life. He literally has over 30 years of experience in business and product development. He received his formal education in information management and systems and biology at Pace University. He went on to pursue a lot of different entrepreneurial endeavors and, of course, had his own manufacturing company and development, which was responsible, which I'm for you guys aren't going to believe this, but he was responsible for research and development in a center that specialized in energy production technologies for the military. And so David, before Lifeway, he and his company was contracted by the U.S. Department of Defense to work on a mini submission for the Navy SEALs. And he was asked to help with survival equipment. So think about this, especially in today's world. This is David, right? 25 years ago, working in survival equipment for our military. And here we are today. Literally, this technology that we have our hands on is very, very applicable in survival equipment for our life, for our health. But David was inventing things for them, and things were going so well. They were so impressed that they asked him to contribute to a problem the SEALs were having with sustainability, endurance, stamina, energy in the field. We know that they're out on mission for days or weeks on end, and they're using stimulants and uppers and caffeine and amphetamines, which are not good for your health. And he had been thinking a lot about these different types of devices that he had invented over the years and thinking at the cellular level how this applies with our energy source, our power source, which we call the mitochondria in our body. And he was downloaded by the divine. He will share this with you if you've heard David speak before. Openly, very much so, God gave him the idea and the information to create a non-transdermal patch that triggered beta oxidation, which means it turns body fat into fuel. Now, we are at the beginning of the year. Most people are thinking about that excess body fat they picked up over the holidays. And so we know the energy enhancer patch that David invented does turn body fat into fuel, but more importantly, it directly impacts mitochondrial function. And mitochondria are the organelles that are responsible for that ATP, the powerhouse energy in your cells, that cell-to-cell communication. And if your mitochondria aren't functioning correctly, well, then we see a whole lot of problems taking place in the body. So David invented the energy enhancer. A white patch and a tan patch. They work with the polarity of your body. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. We don't have too much time to get into that. Of course, you can check out videos on the YouTube channels. StartX39now.com has all that information. But just so you know, that was the start of his idea to invent something that was non-transdermal to be able to help people improve their quality of life as it did for the SEALs, of course, being able to help them come off of their stimulants. Well, 9/11 happened here in the United States, and we know that when that happened, the country took a very different turn, right? To protect the country, bear more arms. Our U.S. Department of Defense pulled out of the mini submission. And so David thought, this was really good, but I need proof. I'm an inventor. I'm a scientist. I'm a researcher. I have to know that this is real. So he got a hold of his buddy, Richard Quick, Stanford University swim team, USA Olympic, 6-time Olympic winner coach. So fast forward 2 years of clinical studies, we've got 100% proof this is doing what we say, and David decided to start Lifewave. So Lifewave is a 20-year-old company. We are actually celebrating our 20-year anniversary this year. We've already kicked that off. And so we're so excited. If you're a part of Lifewave, have been for a while, or if you're seeing us for the first time, please know this is not new. This technology has been around for a long time. It may be new to you, just like it was new to me 2.5 years ago when I learned about this technology. And so David, over the last 20 years, has invented a dozen different patches. They're individual patches. They look just like this, one by itself. And like I said, Dr. Don Verhulst is going to go more in depth with that. But these patches do different things. Each patch is very different. And honestly, they were pretty easy for David to figure out how to create these patches to do the things that they do inside of the body without putting anything into the body. But it took him 10 years in the lab to figure out how to activate your own stem cells through a peptide, GHKCU. And so that's where I enter in. Okay, the X39 has just been on the market a little over 4 years. Now, we do have a patent on that patch. We have a 20-year patent, so we're just in year 4 of that 20-year patent. But I came into Lifewave a little over 2.5 years ago when I was looking for things to help my daughter improve her quality of life. I had done all kinds of stem cell therapy. I had banked both of my kids' cord blood at birth, and I had done a lot of different stem cell therapies in and out of the country. So when I was introduced to Lifewave's X39 stem cell activation patch, it was a no-brainer for me to be able to say, yes, 100%, I want this right now. It's non-transdermal, non-invasive, simple, easy, effective, and oh my gosh, affordable. I walked out the door with it that day. And a good friend of mine called me the very next day because I had found it at a wellness center. And she said, Stacy, I found something that's going to help Taylor. This has helped me with my RA symptoms that I've been dealing with. I'm out of the wheelchair now. I really want to talk to you about this. And I said, send me the link, April. Of course, I'm happy. I'll purchase anything for my child, anything and everything that could help her improve her quality of life. And I'm sure that could relate to many of you. You're out there seeking, you're looking for anything and everything to help you improve your quality of life, or maybe a family member or a friend. And she said, no, we need to get on the phone. So we got on the phone, we talked, and I said, this is exactly what I just bought yesterday. Send me the link. And she said, yes, there's wholesale pricing. You really need to look at how you can buy this in bulk, not only for your daughter, but for the rest of the family. Watch this little video with David. And if you go to startx39now.com, you'll see those little videos with David that she sent me. And she said, you really need to hear more about this. And so I was immediately interested. And then she shared something with me that was really life-changing. She shared with me that David Schmidt was actually going to be in Sarasota, Florida, where I live, literally 15 minutes from my house in just 4 days. And of course, I got on the phone and I said, Laura Balzer, my good friend Laura, who had healed herself from stage 3 breast cancer, all naturally, with IV vitamin therapy medicines, no medicines, all holistic medicines. And I said, Laura, I have found this technology. It's stem cell technology. You've got to come with me to this event to hear David Schmidt, the inventor. She said, okay, I'm in. Let's go. So we jumped online, purchased our tickets, and we showed up that Saturday morning. And we listened to David Schmidt talk for 2 hours straight. All kinds of information about the science and tech and the patches he'd invented and how they worked and what they did. And gosh, if those of you are going to join us in Orlando next month, you're going to hear pretty much the same thing, right? Except a lot of new things that have come out in the last 2.5 years. And we were blown away. But I'll tell you what, the next hour of that presentation, David went back in the back and some other people came out. And so then people came up and shared their personal testimonials, their experiences, what they had been dealing with, being with different diagnoses, physical, mental, emotional diagnoses, people not being able to walk, people not being able to, sleep at night, been in pain for years, mental types of conditions. It was everything A to Z. In an hour, Laura and I sat there, tears in our eyes, chills covering our body. And when that hour was up, David came back out to do an hour of a Q&A, which you guys will be able to experience next month as well in Orlando. We looked at each other and she said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to tell the world about this technology. This is literally a non-transdermal patch that you put on your body. It does not put anything in. It's incredible what happens. And we don't have to worry about any interactions or contraindications or side effects or any of that. And yet it's activating my own stem cells on a daily basis. The world has to know about this because stem cells are the holy grail of healing. So I made a decision that day, and Laura did as well too, to partner together, to partner with Lifewave, to be able to bring this to as many people as possible. We are a global company. David has us positioned in 82 countries. We just opened up South Korea, 82 countries. We have 10 corporate offices, 15 distribution centers globally. That is a very, very, very important thing to understand about Lifewave, right? If you live in Asia, your product ships from Asia. If you live in Europe, it ships from Europe. If you live in Canada or Mexico, you have your own distribution centers. But know that if you're here in the US, our product is made here in the US. If you're in Europe, your product is made over in Europe, right? And so knowing that we have this ability to be able to distribute globally, but yet also locally, means we're going to get our product and we're going to get it really quick. And we're not going to run out because David has the technology that he has purchased to be able to make sure that we're making these patches literally at the speed of light. And so that for me, when I looked at partnering with a company, I wanted to partner with a company that not only was near and dear to my heart, which stem cell therapies are, but also a company that had integrity and honesty and that had systems in place to be able to help people and to be able to help people globally. My mission has always been to drop that stone in the pond and that ripple effect go out around the world to hundreds and thousands and millions of people. And that's why I'm here today. That's why we're all here today, because we care about people. We love people. We want to help people improve their quality of life. And Lifewave for me is a tool in my toolbox that has been able to help me not only personally feel my best, but also be able to keep my body young and healthy and youthful. For me, it's about prevention. It's about vitality and longevity, living the best quality of life for the longest time possible. And yes, I do have very strong practices in nutrition and in exercise and sleep and mindfulness and hydration. Those things are core and very much at the foundation of my wellness program, as they always have been. I've always wanted stem cell therapy, but at tens and $20,000+ an injection. It wasn't something that was in the cards for me at that time. I really needed to focus on my daughter. And so this technology has given myself and my family the ability, in a very simple, easy, and effective and affordable way, to be able to help ourselves and be able to help people all over the globe. So I'm going to turn this event over to Dr. Don Verhulst. Many of you have seen and heard from Dr. Don before. Dr. Don Verhulst is absolutely an incredible man. He is a medical doctor, and that means over 40 years. Okay, so I have a PhD in integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine, but we know that a lot of people really want to hear from medical doctors, what medical doctors have to say from their background, their experience. And so Dr. Don's a teacher, just like I am. He's an ordained minister and he's a speaker. We actually have known each other for 15 years. He was the chief science officer in a company that I had partnered with in the past. And so he was a teacher and trainer and speaker on stage all over the globe. And I learned so much from him. And so when he was introduced to Lifewave through some of Laura's business partners in her organization, I was so excited and happy to have him, partner with me in this and with all of us on this mission, because I know who he is, I know his heart, and I know his passion and mission. He's hosted an internationally syndicated television program called Hope for Your Health for 10 years. He embraces the naturopathic philosophy of health and has dedicated his life to teaching the principles of preventative medicine. He received his undergraduate degree from the University of Michigan, where he resides, where we were supposed to be this weekend, and his Doctor of Medicine degree from Wayne State University. Dr. Don is the author of 5 books, and you can find those on Amazon on health and wellness, and he lives in Grand Rapids with his wife, Susan. So let me find Dr. Don Verhulst on here. Let's get Susan unmuted, and we will get Dr. Don on screen. Susan, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There's Dr. Don there. So you have to understand that they're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We didn't go because of a snowstorm. So they have lost power and he is on a cell phone. So please be patient with that process of if there's a little bit of delay. We are so grateful that they're able to have communication and be on here with us today. So Dr. Don, take it away.
Thank you. I literally have battery-powered lights around me, but I'm sure I'm shining so bright with the excitement I have to share this technology about this non-transdermal patch. Now, I'm going to go into the science, maybe a little more deeply than even you need to know, but there's a couple things that I want you to remember and to learn from my part of this, and we want you to know at Lifewave about this technology. Number one is, what is a stem cell? It's so important. We hear it all the time. We know it's good for us, but really, what is it? A stem cell is simply a cell in your body that can become any kind of cell that you need it to be. If you need help in the cardiovascular area, it can become a heart muscle cell. If you need help in your kidneys, it can become a kidney cell, or your bones or your skin. It can become those kinds of cells. And it's part of the most important part of the rejuvenating system of your body, how your body continues to change and rebuild itself, which goes on your entire life. So number one thing, and I'm not going to repeat myself because I have pre-senile dementia or Alzheimer's, but that's how we learn. That's how I learn. So you may hear me say that again, but that's what a stem cell is. And that's what this X39 patch is all about. And then the second thing is this technology for me? Who should be using this? I really want to address that issue, and I'll do it by telling you my story. When I first heard about it, Susan, some of our friends were using the patch and getting tremendous results, and Susan told me about it. She said, I want to put on this patch. And I said, Susan, I'm a physician, I'm a pastor. I'm not going to tell people to put a sticker on their neck and it'll cure them or heal them of anything or everything. It's crazy. That was my level of unbelief, I guess I'll put it, and my level of lack of knowledge as well. which I realized. So I went to study it to prove that there was nothing to it, that it was just a hoax. Well, instead of that, I found over 80 clinical studies that were independent, by the way, not done by Lifewave, but done independently, double-blind, placebo-controlled, even some of them peer-reviewed. That's the highest level of scrutiny. So there was solid, rock-solid science behind this technology. So I started to open my mind to it, which is where you need to be with people. And you need to realize when you're first sharing with people, they don't understand this. They haven't heard about the reverse aging science of the future that you have in your hand if you're holding one of these patches. And that's exactly what you have. So you got to meet people where they're at. Teach them what a stem cell is. Most people have heard about stem cell therapy, which really amounts to nothing more than collecting and concentrating your old worn out stem cells and injecting them back into a location. And only a few areas have they been known to be or are used and been helpful. Now that's even legal in the United States. The joints are one of those areas where it's a good idea. I love it. It's using your own body to help rejuvenate and restore. But as Dr. Stacy addressed, it can cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for one round of this treatment. So there are some hurdles there. So when I started studying, I found out that the patch was effective. I saw some of the powerful things that it did. But here, I guess, is the important fact about stem cells that you need to remember. By the time you're 35, you've lost 50% of your stem cell activity. By the time you're 65, you've lost up to 90% of that activity, and it continues to decrease until you finally aren't rejuvenating cells anymore, and you pass on out of this body. Your earth suit gets old and dies. So stem cells are extremely important. Who needs stem cell rejuvenation? Anyone that wants to live longer and stronger, wants to enhance your own natural body processes of functioning right the way you were designed. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You were designed to live long and strong and not suffer with sickness and disease, but the body has innate ability to heal itself, and all we're doing is enhancing that ability, and it's something that's been going on your whole life. So number one, this patch is non-transdermal. Now, most people don't even know what that word means when you hear it. They don't even know what a transdermal patch is. Transdermal means through the skin. It's like an estrogen patch or a nicotine smoker's patch where chemicals are in the patch. You put it on the skin, slowly diffuses into the body and does its job. Wonderful, if that's the mechanism of the modality. This is not working that way. This is non-transdermal. Nothing's going in your body from the patch. Well, then, of course, that begs the question, how does it work? It works exactly like the sunlight hitting your skin and making vitamin D. Everyone's familiar with that, I think. That's photobiomodulation. Photo, light, bio, the body, modulation, changing the body with light. It's happened to all of us from the day we were born. That's a process that David Schmidt has perfected now and taken to our advantage and allows you to use it to your advantage. And here's what happens. He put the media in this patch. It's organic amino acids in a microcrystalline structure and several other electrolytes and other things, so that when your body's energy, the infrared that your body makes all the time, hits this patch, and you're making infrared. That's the reason we can see each other with infrared glasses. Even when it's pitch dark, you're giving off energy. It hits the patch, and the media in the patch forms a very specific light wave that's then put back in the body. And just like the photobiomodulation of the sunlight making vitamin D, now you're using photobiomodulation, in this case, to enhance a well-known, well-researched for decades chemical called GHK copper peptide. That's a tripeptide, 3 amino acids hooked to a copper. You can look up the studies on that. Dr. Laurent Picard spent his life researching this. And that is shown and known to activate stem cell number and activity. So that's the mechanism of it. That may be a little bit deep for some people, but I want to cover those bases so you have a real comfort zone and a foundation for the science behind this, because it is legit and there's a lot of science. You can even go to PubMed, which is our government accepted science all over the world, and pubmed.gov, and look up pluripotent stem cell and put in any kind of disease process that someone's struggling with. There's over 5,000 hours teaching us of studies showing us what stem cell activation can do for these things. Now, that's not Lifewave doing that. That's accepted science around the world. So this is not new. What's new is the patented technology of being specifically able in your body to increase GHK copper peptide, which enhances stem cell activity and numbers in your body. And let's face it, we all want to do that. In fact, let me just give you a little snippet of one of those studies, which you're welcome to look at. You can go to startx39now.com and find all of these studies and the patents and David Schmidt talking about the technology. But one of them shows that every 6 weeks you wear the X39 stem cell patch. And by the way, you wear it 12 hours on, then you take it off and throw it away. 12 hours off, so your body doesn't acclimate to it, so you get a full 100% benefit when you put it back on the next day for 12 hours only. You wear that patch for 6 weeks, and you de-age the cardiovascular system by 8 weeks. When I first heard that, I thought, wow, I didn't think it was possible. And then I thought, well, now that I see it's possible, why isn't everyone using that? And that's a question I still say, why isn't everyone using it? If you could de-age your heart 8 weeks for every 6 weeks you wore this patch, you should start doing it today. And you should start doing it today. So that's what stem cell activation is about. That's how a non-transdermal patch works. It works simply by using your body as the battery. That's all it says, little 50-cent piece size patch you put on C7, the back of your neck, and it picks up your infrared as the battery, activates it, and the result is you look better, feel better, have more energy. Now, question is, how soon can I expect to feel something or notice something significant? That varies with the individual. You can't make any promises and you can't really predict it. Some people are a one-patch wonder or a one-week wonder with patches. We love that, but it's maybe 1 out of 20 or 30 people. Most people are in the 3 to 6 week range. Within 3 to 6 weeks, you'll note something significant, but sometimes it takes longer than that. The patches were designed to be used 1 month for every decade of life. So I'm 67, so I'm in my 7th decade. I've lived 6 of them. So I need to wear the patch 7 months before I even make a decision if it's working. Now, it'd be rare to take that long, but it could. So don't be discouraged. You need to wear the patch consistently and use it until it makes a difference. What the most common things I feel or I hear that people notice about the patching, usually within the first week or so, they're sleeping better. Energy levels, very common thing that I hear. GI improvements, gastrointestinal issues, skin changes, mental clarity, wound healing, things where tissues are turning over quickly. A lot of people will notice things more quickly, but it doesn't matter if you notice anything at all because the patch is working. In fact, within 24 hours or your very first time putting on the X39 stem cell activating patch, you are communicating with 4,100 of your 18,000 genes to express at a healthier, more youthful level. Yes, the genetic level it even affects on. So that's some powerful information. If I haven't wetted your whistle to use this technology, you need to wake up because it is powerful. It is the most powerful modality I've ever used. And I've been 40 years as an MD trained in using pharmaceuticals, using natural alternatives, helping people get off pharmaceuticals when they can. And I've never seen anything that's even close to its equal in effectiveness. And I don't even have to ask people, what medications are you on? What over-the-counter things are you taking? What nutrients and supplements are you using? Because it's only waking up your own body. So no known side effects. You can use the patch, but I will warn you this one thing. The patches will not work unless you wear them consistently. You got to put them on. So get patching. Now, I always start people with X39 and one other patch together. I call them the dynamic duo for good reason. They work together synergistically because when you wake up stem cells, they're going to go where the action is in your body. You see, this is smart technology. It works on the first thing first, the most important issue, which you probably don't even know that's going on in your body. And maybe you'll never know about it. And that's a good thing because your body will correct it. This is going on all the time anyway in your body. But then it'll go to the next thing. But it always goes where the activity is highest. And that's where inflammation is highest. So If we can keep inflammation down, and we can get quicker and better results. And let's face it, inflammation is a cause or a promoter of every kind of disease entity. So you want to keep inflammation down anyway. So the patch that David Schmidt has developed for lowering and keeping inflammation in check is called EON, A-E-O-N, and that one's worn 1 inch below the belly button. We wear the patches where I've described because that's where the clinical studies were done. However, they'll work anywhere on your body. And the EON, some people are having great success. I still have people start 1 inch below their belly button and on C7 for the X39, and then the EON anti-inflammatory patch 1 inch below your belly button to start there. But if they're having some kind of pain or issue in a specific location in their body, sometimes I've seen improvements when they take the EON and put it right in that area. Say they're having a shoulder issue or an elbow issue or knee or whatever it might be. You could try that, but I really like keeping it simple. It's very important. And the beginning of using this modality effectively and efficiently is starting with the dynamic duo, the X39 on C7 for stem cell activation, and the EON 1 inch below your belly button. And you can literally get all the results from any of the patches just from the X39 alone, but it's going to take longer. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait 2 or 3 years to get things corrected in my body. I want to strike at the root and address the cause, which is what we're doing here. We're not just covering symptoms. You see, we're really good in traditional medicine that I'm trained in, that my degree is in allopathic medicine as an MD, at covering symptoms. But most of the time, covering those symptoms ignores the cause of the problem and quite frequently makes the cause worse. So there's just a way better modality to approach sickness and disease. And of course, we don't make any claims to cure or treat any kind of medical conditions. We don't diagnose or treat those things or make any medical claims because it's simply supporting the body's ability to do that. That's what these patches are doing. So it's very exciting. It's reverse aging. So it's perfectly safe. It's effective. And finally, it's affordable for only $3 a day for the X39. If it was $100 a day, I would encourage people at least find a way to use 2 months worth of it and let it change your life. The EON patch is a supportive patch, only $2 a day. So I hope I've taken away your excuses and a lot of your unbelief if you haven't heard about this yet, or encouraged you, if you're using the patches, to keep using them consistently. Remember, a stem cell is the cell you need to get and stay healthy, no matter what you may be struggling with. It can become that cell. That's how powerful stem cells are. And to wake ours up, if in case you're north of 35 and you've had 50% of the stem cell activity lost, or if you're above 65 and lost 90%, you need to wake up those stem cells. Help your body do what it wants to do naturally. You're getting a new body all the time. Your body's constantly changing. You get new cells for your liver every 6 weeks, a brand new liver. You get new skin every 28 to 45 days. You get new cells lining your GI tract in the stomach every 3 to 5 days because of the high acid content there. In 1 year's time, 98% of all the cells in your body are restored and renewed. How does it happen? It happens because stem cells make those new cells that you need. So avail yourself of this technology, the reverse aging science of the future. And we're happy that you're joined with us here today. And I think Susan's going to come on and share with us some testimonies that we've had from people that have had some results. And so, Susan, welcome to our broadcast.
Awesome. So exciting. And we're just so happy to be with you. We wish we were in person, but the silver lining is we have over, I think, 700 people now joining us instead of 200 or 300. So that was a little bit of a blessing to have that happen in the midst of our snowstorm and power outage. But we have been so excited about these stem cell patches, these stem cell activation patches. I want to make sure to say that, because they're changing so many lives. And we've never seen anything like this in this technology and what it's doing for people. We're talking about cellular reverse aging. We're talking about giving people their lives back. And I have Sherry Tambur on with me right now. I met Sherry about, I want to say 7 months ago now, 8 months ago. And we were at a women's meeting. Sherry was sharing a little bit about her son, Eli, and some challenges he was having. I was talking about the patches, and she said, Susan, do you think these could help my son? We're coming out with a new invention called Kaba, because so many adults and older people are still having to wear diapers and things of that nature, and it really affects a family's life. She said, Susan, we have missed airplanes, we have missed family parties and events because Eli my 10-year-old son is wearing a diaper. And she said, for some reason, things are connecting. She'll tell you why and what has happened since Eli started on our stem cell activation patches, and Sherry and her whole family. So take it away, Sherry.
Thank you so much, Susan. Yeah, this technology has changed our lives for sure. We started the technology in the beginning of May, and Eli was born with a very rare disorder. He coded when he was a baby. He was born with a rare disorder, so he had a lot of setbacks. He couldn't go to the bathroom on his own. He was going through about 50 diapers during the daytime. His fine motor skills were lacking, holding a spoon, getting dressed himself, showering himself. Able to remember his day-to-day routine had to be residual. I couldn't change anything in his routine, or he would forget how to use a spoon, how to do his schoolwork. Giving one-step instructions was a daily chore. Getting him to go up to his room, get dressed, I would have to do a lot of hands-on. Traveling with him, going anywhere, trying to change a 10-year-old, impossible. You can't change a 10-year-old everywhere you go. So that's why we came up with Kaba. That's what you said. We're trying to get a manufacturer for that. But since patching, Eli, within the first 5 days, went from 50 diapers daytime down to 5. And he is currently only around 5 to 10 diapers during the week. He also had seizures. He is now seizure-free. He is med-free, holistic med-free. He was going to OT, PT, and speech every week since he was 1. He is no longer in need of OT, PT, or speech. He also had a mini stroke, which had given him a lot more setbacks. And now everything with his speech, his fine motor skills, his ability to learn, to be able to communicate is improving. He wasn't able to go past kindergarten work in the last 6 years. He started reading this year. He started writing. He started coloring in the lines. He started drawing pictures. I was going to have him come down here, but I forgot. He has some pictures that he's not tracing, but following instructions from an artist. And he made some really cool pictures last week. Everything is changing. Every week I see something happening with him, and it's just incredible. And everybody in my family, we have 7 people living in this house, and everybody is patching.
Let's get Susan and Dawn to unmute
Yep,
again.
I'm back,
There you
and
go.
there we go. Thank you, Sherry. I know how excited we all were the first or second day when you called me. You said I didn't want to call you the first day because I didn't want to jinx anything, but we're down from 50 diapers to like 5 in just a couple of days. And what a life changer. So exciting. Right now, I want to introduce Jeremy Osteen. Jeremy, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Jeremy has an exciting testimony to share with us as well. Thank you, Jeremy.
Hi there. How are you, Susan?
Doing
Glad
well.
to be
Thank you for
here.
joining us.
Yes, ma'am. This is my wife, Sarah. She's here with me. We share this journey together. We're thankful for the X39 patches. If you guys are on here for the first time, Dr. Don explained this very well, and take it to heart because this patch is a miracle. I wear it every single day. I am retired. I retired in 2020. I was a police officer for 31 years. Got diagnosed with diabetes back in 2018, and my health progressively went down until I was introduced to this patch, and it's a miracle. I got neuropathy, really bad. Depression hit with that disease. I was in severe pain, tremendous amount of pain. I was on several medications that I was taking since I've started wearing the X39 patches and numerous others, supporting patches that go with that. My life has changed. It's changed for the better. I no longer have pain. It's 100% gone. I truly believe in this patch.
After 5 years of 24/7, would you bring me my gun so I can end my life? Because that's how bad it was. It's just a miracle that he doesn't have pain any longer. It
Yeah.
just blows my mind.
I was on several diabetes medicines. I have since came off of half of what I was taking for diabetes. My blood sugar levels are pretty close to getting back in range. I'm only taking one of the diabetes medicines that I was prescribed out of the 5 that I was taking. So it's truly improving my health. I notice things weekly.
He also is off of 4 of his pain meds, and his neurologist said, Jeremy, this is it. I can't give you anything stronger. And he said, well, none of it is working. And he said, but your kidneys are being killed with these medicines.
Yeah.
And you're headed in the same direction as your mom, which has just recently had a kidney transplant because of diabetes. And so he's off of 4 of those, and I think he's just kind of scared to
get off
the last one. I think he really doesn't need it, but I think it's just mental for him. But we're trying to wean him off all these meds as we go.
Yeah, it's a powerful testimony. Thank you so much for sharing it. You know, as you're saying this, I'm thinking, and my heart's just going out to the literally millions, and that's not an exaggeration, millions of people that are suffering for the exact same reason that you were, and they don't know of anything like this that they can try that's totally natural, that addresses the cause of the problem. And of course, we're not treating diabetes here or neuropathy, but boy, can we help the body to respond and repair and rebuild and interfere with some of the pain flow mechanism and bring things back to normal, give you your life back. That's what's exciting to me. So thank you for this testimony. We can sure support the pancreas's ability to make enzymes to break down foods for nutrients, to make insulin to help the body balance blood sugar. That's what's going on here. That's what's exciting to us. And thank you so much for your powerful testimony. And I'm so excited that you've gotten your life back. Think of how many people that we could help by sharing these kinds of stories and this technology, Susan.
And I understand you're a retired sheriff, so thank you for our service and for keeping everybody safe. We appreciate that so much. And
Thank
now
you.
we go back to some Q&A with Dr. Stacy. We want to get some of your questions answered. So Dr. Stacy and Dr. Don are here to answer some of your questions. So go ahead and take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you, Jeremy. And oh my gosh, Sherry, for sharing your testimonials. They are definitely life-changing. And of course, we are seeing comments come in. Everyone's so grateful that you took the time to share. We know sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking, you know, here on a screen with so many people, but that really does make a difference. That's what I'm talking about with that, dropping that stone in the water. That ripple effect of you taking the time to share your story is very appreciated. So I want to share with you first, while you're dropping your questions in the chat, feel free to ask any question. Just keep in mind, like Dr. Don said, we are not going to be discussing any diseases. We're not claiming to treat or cure anything. So if you want to ask a question about something that's going on with you, give us your symptoms. What are you experiencing? And we'll talk to you about the patches. You know, as I had mentioned earlier, David has invented a dozen patches over the last 20 years. And so different patches do different things. And you heard Dr. Don talk about X39 and Eon. So we call that the dynamic duo that is always your starting point for anything between A to Z that you're dealing with. But we do have some other supportive patches that support different systems and organs. But I want to screen share with you all, and I want to share with you our before and after pictures. Now, this is startx39now.com. If you don't have this site up yet or haven't looked at it, you can go to startx39now.com. But these are just a few of our before and after pictures. You can see, of course, changes in the skin, tightening. We see that collagen production really increasing around that 90-day mark with the X39. You can see dramatic changes in people in their face because of really honestly what's happening on the inside of the body. When these kind of changes take place, it's definitely things that are happening inside to reduce the inflammation and get the body back in balance. Some of these pictures, as you can see, this is spinal stenosis. This is over an 18-month period of time. You know, Dr. Don mentioned the thing is to put the patch on and be patient with the process. You know, when you're looking at something like this X-ray or scan here from, you know, a chiropractor, that's time. Like, you can't speed up that type of repair in the body, right? It's not going to come at all if you're not using the patches or doing some type of stem cell therapy. But being okay with the fact that this took 18 months when you look at these vertebrae and you look at the spinal column and versus what happened 18 months later, we only have time. So you're either going to get younger and healthier, or you're going to get older and sicker. We have a choice. I'm not going to go over all of these, but you can see wound healing, of course, changes in scar, even years later. You know, the skin is very prevalent, accidents, injuries, things like that. Even this young girl's back is unfortunately all too common today. So I just wanted to share these with you and be able to, you know, give you an opportunity to put some questions in the chat. So Dr. Don and I are going to do a little Q&A here now, and I'm going to ask you some questions, Dr. Don, that people are asking in the chat. And the big question that everyone wants to know is, you know, where do I put the patch? If I have a heart problem, do I need to put the patch on my heart? If I have, you know, digestional issues, does the patch have to go on my intestines? If I have shoulder problems, does it go on my shoulder? Give us your 2 cents on that. Where do we put these patches?
Yeah, I love this question. The patch will work anywhere on the body. However, we highly recommend you start with the X39 on C7, that's cervical vertebrae 7. That's the big bump that protrudes out. If you put your hand down the back of your neck, down to the base of the neck, you'll feel a big bump there. That's C7. And it doesn't matter if you're an inch above, below, left, or right, just get it in that area, because the clinical studies were done with the patch for the X39 in that area. As I mentioned, wearing the Eon, which I think you should start with those two together, wear that 1 inch below your belly button, once again, because the studies were done there, although we have seen some improvements with people wearing that anti-inflammatory patch right at the point of inflammation or pain or so forth. But in general, I would keep the patches. I've been wearing for a year and 4 months now, my X39 at C7, my Eon an inch below my belly button. And you don't even have to worry about where to wear patches, because when you get your sleeve of patches, which is a container that contains 30 of the patches, you will have a booklet in there. And the very last page of the booklet has a picture, and it shows you a couple different places where that patch is recommended to be worn. So you can wear the patch anywhere, but that's where we do it because the clinical studies were done there. And those are C7 especially. That's a very important energy position in the meridians in the body and acupuncture points. So there is some science there too. That's where I would wear the patches, Dr. Stacy.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Dr. Don. I always say put them on the body. They don't work if you don't put them on.
Right.
Okay, so someone is wanting to know if they should use 2 X39s at the same time.
It would not be dangerous, but there's no reason to. I believe it's a waste of money. I don't think the benefit you get is worth the amount of money you'd use, because you may get a 20% benefit more with that, but you're better off. That's why we take the 12 hours off, so the body doesn't get used to it. And then when we put it back on the next time, you get 100% benefit. 1 X39 is enough. I do not recommend wearing more than 1 X39. And I've heard this exact answer from David Schmidt's mouth. So I'm right on this one.
I believe you. All right, so let's talk about water. What is the importance of staying hydrated when you are patching?
Yeah, water is the great detoxifier in your body. It's how your body cleans out toxins. It's how your blood system works. The life of the health is in the blood. It's how nutrients get around your body. Your heart beats so that you can get nutrients around and stay alive. Literally, water is the number one fluid, certainly, that you need to stay hydrated just for general health, but particularly important when you're patching because you're enhancing stem cells, and stem cells need to get where they're needed, and they need nutrients as well. So, I mean, all the regular health things that I recommend people, learn to relax, getting to bed on time, exercise, fresh air, sunshine, God-made foods, real foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and then drink what you're mostly made of, water. All of those things will help the patches to work better. Doesn't mean they won't work if you're not doing those things, but taking good nutrition, I still believe in supplementing a good balanced multivitamin. It will help the stem cell activation process and the anti-inflammatory process, or whatever process you're trying to help in your body. But staying hydrated goes to the top of the list. Drink half of your body's weight in pounds in ounces of water every day, and you'll be fine.
Thank you, Dr. Don. What about for children, toddlers, issues related to the brain? What are your thoughts on kids patching?
Yeah, well, here's what David Schmidt, I've heard him say, is that unless a child can tell you if a difference is being made, he wouldn't recommend using the patch just because he wants to know if it's being effective or not. Having said that, I don't think there's any contraindication. It's certainly not, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, it's not harmful because it's simply doing in the toddler or the child what it's doing in you, waking up stem cells. Now, most people have, when you're younger like that, so much stem cell activity that you wouldn't expect a big difference. But if there's something going on that's abnormal, if there's a problem with the child, we have seen tremendous results. So that's completely up to the parents. We always recommend talking to your doctor about such things, but I'd more be talking to your doctor not about getting permission to wear the patch, but telling your doctor he or she needs to start patching as well.
I agree. And the first person I patched was my daughter. And even though at the time she was 17 years old, she was not able to speak. She was nonverbal. She had been in a wheelchair for almost 15 years. And so verbal is definitely a personal choice if they can communicate that to you or not. We don't have any clinical studies on kids, so we don't have any way to say yes, 100%, but we also know that nothing's entering the body. And I always say this just because this is me and this is who I am. You make a choice every day to take your child through a drive-through and have them consume that non-food food, or expose them to the chemicals in their personal care products like shampoos and conditioners, or, the Flintstone vitamins or things like that, which we know now are very harmful and toxic and cause a lot of horrible repercussions in the body, no matter what age you are, especially to those little kids with their bodies growing. So as a parent, I feel like it's best to educate yourself on what's best for my child, what's best that you put on your child or in your child, of course, and know that there's nothing entering the body. There are no chemicals, no nutrients, no medicines, no toxins. This technology actually does exact opposite. It helps to eliminate those problems, those things that are entering the body on a daily basis, to help the body get back into balance, no matter what age you are. And we do know, as you had mentioned, Dr. Don, we have amazing clinical studies on the brain and how X39 impacts cognitive function, how it impacts the balance of the brain, the coherence of the brain, and being able to get that brain into balance, reducing that anxiety, right? That stress in that brain. And so we see significant changes, even in the 6-week period of time. And as you mentioned, kids are young, they have lots of stem cells. And so their bodies want to heal very quickly, right? They do
Right.
that, but we know they get out of balance. And even today, with the mom's level of toxicity, these little babies are coming in with a toxic load that we've never seen before, just because of the toxins in our environment, our water and our food and products that we're using. So
And you know, when you say, Dr. Stacy, that X39 is improving brain function, we're not just talking about asking the person or the child, you know, are you thinking more clearly? Do things seem to make more sense? Or our observation of them? We're talking about clinically studying things like brain coherence. These are measurable entities where we can see brain function improving clinically. So it's powerful technology, but completely safe. It's up to the parents. But to put it in perspective, I'd say I'd be more concerned about letting my child breathe in any city in the United States than put a patch on, because it's way more dangerous.
I agree with that. All right, Dr. Don, what do you recommend for weight loss? I know this is one of your favorite topics. What do you recommend?
I do. First of all, attaining and maintaining ideal weight is one of the best things you can do for long-term health and longevity, to live long and strong. And so it's so important, goes to the top of the list. And of course, staying away from sugar is going to be a big thing. Drinking what you're mostly made of, water. I love intermittent fasting, which means closing down the window in which you eat down to maybe 6 or 8 hours a day, or down to 4 if you want to do it extreme for a little while. You only eat during those hours. I love all of those things. But in terms of patching, I definitely would start with the X39 and the Eon, because fat causes a lot of inflammation, by the way, and we want to get rid of excess fat. We don't want to lose weight. We want to lose fat. You want to retain muscle, and muscle weighs 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 times as much as fat. And here's why. A pound of fat only burns 2 calories a day. A pound of muscle burns 500 calories a day. And let's face it, you're not going to attain and maintain lean muscle mass without exercising, but you need energy to exercise. And so patching can help you with all of those areas, and also in building the muscles and in helping with the fat. But specifically, so I start with X39, Ian, as I always do, but just as quickly as I could, I would add X49, which is specifically designed for athletes, but specifically has been found to help decrease fat, help enhance fat loss, and muscle building and stamina, and stronger bones. And bones are where the cells of the immune system are formed. Another patch you might consider that I've had tremendous results with is the SP6. SP6 is support for all the organs, but mainly, especially glandular organs like the thyroid, which specifically determines the rate at which you burn calories, metabolism. So you need support there. It also helps the adrenal glands, which deal with stress. And when you have excess cortisol, which comes from the adrenals, you accumulate toxic belly fat. So you want to keep that in check. And the SP6 also supports pancreas. That's a very important gland that not only makes digestive enzymes so you can break down food, but insulin to support your body's ability to balance blood sugar, not to mention the ovaries and the testes and hormonal balance. So XP6 is another one to be considered. But I still would start with the X39 and Eon for a couple months, see what happens there, and then add some other sort of supportive patches. But I have nothing against trying all 4 of those at once. If you want to get it done quickly, put them all on. There's no contraindication to using 4 different patches at once, Dr. Stacy.
I agree. And Laura and I, it was probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did a deep dive into weight loss. Laura's a personal trainer, conditioning coach, and nutritionist. And so we did a deep dive into weight loss, and it's on my YouTube channel. So feel free to go back and grab that recording. And we talk about those exact same patches and adding in a little glutathione to really help move those toxins out. We have what's called the tummy reduction protocol.
Energy enhancer too. I forget to say that specifically. Yes. Will help you to burn calories too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dr. Don, let's talk about sleep. I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat about sleep. They need help with sleeping. They've been using the X39 maybe for a while. They're not getting that deep sleep. We know sometimes people, like for example, Laura's husband, Tommy, the first night they put the patch on, he slept deeper than he had in years, but that's not always the case with people. So what would you recommend for improving your quality of sleep? We know that deep REM sleep is critical for healing.
It is. It's critical. It's the time when your short-term memories, the thing you've accumulated over the day, go from the hypothalamus and are stored in the highest level of the brain in the cortex as long-term memory. So you really want that to function well. and sleeping important, deep sleep, REM sleep is important for that. First of all, as you get older, people don't sleep as long generally, and it's not necessarily pathologic. Like some people say, I can't sleep 8 hours. That's okay. You don't need to. One of the most common reasons people aren't sleeping long enough is because they're not tired when they go to bed. I triple dog dare you to do some consistent exercise when you finally get to go to bed, not have to. You're going to want to hit that pillow. So that's an important thing. Try to keep it dark in your room. Be consistent with the time you go to bed. Don't have a TV blaring at you or lights for a half hour to an hour before you go to bed. So those are some of the basic things that I tell people. But as far as patching, certainly X39 and Eon. Eon is the happy patch. It supports the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps people with anxiety because it's going to help you calm down. So that's certainly a important patch. And you can wear the X30 or the Eon at night. I don't recommend wearing the X39 at night because it'll give you energy, but the Eon can be worn at night and can help with sleeping. But specifically, our patch for sleeping at night enhances the melatonin, not only the production of melatonin by the pituitary, but mainly the release, because most people make enough, they don't release it as efficiently when they get older. And that's what our patch specifically designed for that, our nighttime patch to help you sleep at night.
Thank you, Dr. Don. Let's go into another common topic that I'm seeing, pain, especially pain in the hands and in the feet, the extremities.
Yeah, pain is an interesting, and I'm glad that this came up because all of our patches are designed to address the cause of the problem, and they all do. But the one patching system that doesn't focus as much on the problem, but helps block the flow of pain, of energies in the body, it is called the Lifewave. And Lifewave, here's the difference though, it acts immediately. That's not one you're going to have to wear a month for every decade of life. When you get it place patched properly, it's a 2-patch system. You put the tan patch right on the pain, and then you go to the right for the white and move it around until you get to an area where you feel some pain difference. Then when you get to that spot, you say, okay, I'm going to wear that for 12 hours right there. That system works immediately, but it's not necessarily helping with the cause of the pain. It can, in some ways, do that as well, but that's the uniqueness of the Lifewave patch, so specifically for pain. However, having said that, a lot of people get free from pain with just the X39 and especially the Eon, because inflammation causes pain. So, where do you start? Do you start with the Lifewave? I would always start with X39 and Eon, and then use Lifewave immediately if you have excruciating pain, or not just have a pain that's very specific. You can try them all at the same time and then see what combination works. You might only need X39 and Eon, but you might need to use that Lifewave as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Don. So let's talk a little bit about the brain. You and I took that deep dive back in November, 4 weeks on brain health. And those are all on my YouTube channel, of course. But people are asking about mental and emotional types of issues they're dealing with. So can we talk about the brain and the mental emotional component, not just structural, but mental and emotional?
Yes, well, you can predict what I would say. I start with the X39 and Eon because inflammation has an effect on the brain especially, and you want to protect against that. And you want your stem cells to be made into neurons if they need to be made and remade, and you're making neurons all your life. So you need the X39 and Eon as the base. Probably the next patch I would add is carnosine. We haven't mentioned that one yet, but carnosine, I like to say, if you have a heart or a brain and you want them to live longer and stronger, you better be patching with carnosine. But the sister patch kind of carnosine is glutathione, which is a detoxifier that keeps the brain clean. What I do is I wear a carnosine one day, glutathione the next. I trade back and forth on those, but I do not miss X39 and Eon every day. And I've been patching for 1 year and 4 months now. So those are the basic ones that I think of when I think of brain function.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's shift gears a little bit. for those of us that have doctors or practitioners that are on here, let's talk about FDA approved. And of course, we know that nothing is actually approved by the FDA. It's just cleared or it's not. The FDA does reviews on everything, and they either clear it to be used as safe, which some situations when we look at medications, I'm not for sure if that's the best choice, but they clear things as approved or not. Now, obviously, we're not a medication. We're a general wellness product in the category of phototherapy. So can you talk to some doctors as a medical doctor with the FDA and what you would say or recommend for these patches?
Yeah, well, the FDA does not approve natural alternatives or disapprove natural alternatives. They don't look at them. They're looking at pharmaceuticals, and they need to be there, and they need to be looking, and we need to watch the black box warnings and all the warnings and read that crazy long paper that comes with every poison with a desirable side effect, which I call a pharmaceutical. And the FDA needs to be there policing that, because there's some things going on that shouldn't be going on. Anyway, having said that, the question is the patch safe? And it certainly is, because it's non-transdermal. It's in the same category as a wellness device approved in the sense of a Band-Aid is. And that's how dangerous it is. The only known issue that about 1 out of between 10 and 20,000 people have is an allergy to the adhesive in the patch. And I'll tell you, the patch doesn't even need to be put on the skin to work. If it gets within 1.5 inches of the skin with the back peeled off it, it starts to pick up your body's infrared and work. So if you don't want to put your X39 every day right on the back of your neck on C7, put it in the collar or inside your t-shirt. It'll work the same way.
I love that. That is so true. It doesn't actually have to be on the body. Just holding the patch like this, you're activating it. Your body's heat or light comes off the body 2 to 4 inches. You can stick it on the inside of your coat or your shirt, or stick it in your pocket. You don't even have to take the backing off, and it is still working. That's the beautiful thing about something that's non-transdermal. I love that. So we talked a little bit about focus, of course, with the brain. So we're not going to go more into that, but let's talk a little bit about the libido, Dr. Dawn. What would you recommend? I know I've heard testimonials from people, and we all know, if you saw one of the first videos, I don't say we all know, one of the first videos that we watched with David, they called it Sex 39 instead of X39. He did. So can you talk about the libido a little bit with our patches for some people? Because that's a very concern as people age.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues with libido that can potentially be causing those issues. Some of them, it's just age, natural to have libido go down some as you get older, but it's often hormonal, so hormonal balance. And how do we balance hormones? I love SP6 for doing this. It gives support to testes and ovaries. So specifically with hormonal support, if it's an ED issue, erectile dysfunction, that's a blood flow issue. So that would be more carnosine, I would think, in terms of that one. And then our sprays, our aromatic sprays that we have, not the nighttime one, but the shine during the day, also help support in that regard. And we've had some libido testimonies. I don't know if we have any clinical studies on that. I don't know how you clinically study that, but we've got reports. I know that. So I guess I would focus, of course, X39 and Eon. Let's start there, because we don't want inflammation, and we want to be able to make cells in whatever area we're talking about there, and that's what we're doing. But then I would add those other supportive patches and sprays as necessary.
Thank you so much. I totally agree. I remember I listened to a lady I interviewed one night on our Thursday night patching podcast, and she said the carnosine, she can only let her husband use it a couple times a week. He wants to use it every single day, but she's like, ew, 2 times a week, 3 times a week max is all you get it. So I thought, well, hey, it's a good problem to have.
Guard your carnosine, gentlemen.
Carnosine. And like you said, it's all about that circulation, right? Increasing that blood flow. It's very important. Right. So definitely a benefit for sure. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the difference in X39 and X49.
Okay. X39 is our first, of course, stem cell activating patch, and our only other stem cell patch is the X49. The specific biochemical difference is the fact that X39 enhances the signaling molecule GHK copper peptide. X49 enhances the signaling molecule AHK copper peptide. And it's the difference in these signaling molecules that makes the difference in the patches, and it's what they do and how they help the body to perform. Specifically, the X39 is overall stem cell activation and increase in number, which helps a stem cell to become any cell, whatever you need anywhere in your body. Literally can help with any and everything, and I believe should always be used. Even if you're going to use the X49, you still need to use the X39 with it. And there's actually a benefit when you use those two together. You get the effect of what's called a Faraday cage around your body, which protects you from negative electromagnetic radiation. I mean, there's good EMF, which is like the sun making vitamin D in your body, but there's bad, like the electricity in your house and cell towers and all of those kinds of things, and even your cell phone. When you use X39 and X49 together, you literally protect your body from that. That's a little side benefit. But X49 specifically is to help with fat loss, muscle building. It was designed first for professional athletes, work for any athlete or anybody that wants to exercise and have good recovery time and strength and stamina, muscle building, fat loss, and then stronger bones. And the bones are where the cells of the immune system are formed. So all of those benefits with X49, but I'd say X49 is an add-on to the stem cell benefits that you get from X39, and I really recommend using them together.
I love that. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk a little bit here. When people have had accidents or injuries or surgeries and they're wanting to speed up that recovery time or repair time, what are we recommending for that, Dr. Don?
Yeah, X39, X39, X39. Don't miss your X39. That is, wound healing is one of the standout benefits of enhancing stem cell activity and numbers. So don't miss X39. And of course, there's going to be a lot of inflammation. When you repair after a surgery or a wound or an injury, you've got a lot of dead cells and you got a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of toxins around. So I also might consider glutathione added on there. Those would be the main starting patches that I'd use for those kinds of things.
Wonderful. Fantastic. All right. Well, Dr. Don, thank you so much for this last, 30-minute segment here of Q&A. And if you didn't get your question answered for some reason, I tried to scour through the chat as we were going through these. Please get back with the person that invited you. They'll be able to answer your questions. We're all connected, of course, here in Team Evolve. And so we're happy to help you get your questions answered. So thank you so much, Dr. Don, for taking your time and sharing the science and tech. Your wealth of information and knowledge, of course, is just absolutely so valuable to us, and we really appreciate you. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Even in the midst of a snowstorm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, you are a gem, and we are so grateful for you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. My pleasure. God bless.
God bless you too. All right, Casey, come back on here for me, Casey.
Yes.
There you go.
Dr. Don and Dr. Stacy, that's some valuable information. I really appreciate answering all those questions. But, to be honest with you, and thanks again, Sherry and Jeremy and Sarah, those are just a few of the testimonies that we literally are witnessing every day since we've learned about this technology. And, my wife and I are Christians, and we've read The Purpose-Driven Life and other books about finding God's plan for our life, but I don't think it was really until we were introduced to Lifewave that we really started to live that out. I want to introduce to you right now my wife, my best friend and business partner, Cindy Johnson. She's owned and operated a very successful internet marketing company with her brother, who's actually participating today with over 15 years experience. So Cindy's going to share a little bit about her journey here at Lifewave. So Cindy, come on, babe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy, and thanks for having me, and thanks for that beautiful introduction. By the way, you're my best friend, too. So we are just having a blast here, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a little bit about our journey and how we came to Lifewave. I had COVID really badly in 2021, August of 2021. I was in bed for over a week. My oxygen levels were in the 80s. I had a fever over 102 for that entire month. I couldn't keep any food down. My body was a wreck. And we went to the hospital at one point, where, I was, looking for them to do something for me. And what they said was, well, you're not ready for a respirator. Come back when you are. And so I figured I'm either going to recover or die at home, but I'm not going back there on a respirator. So we went home and we powered through and got some relief from the virus itself. But when it was over, I was left with complete exhaustion, ridiculous brain fog. I had developed a heart arrhythmia during that month. And so I could only really function or work for about 2 to 3 hours a day. And so Casey and I had been looking for a product or products that we could market on the internet, because that's my background. My brother and I own an internet marketing company. And I figured if I could create some passive income, then it wouldn't matter that I could only work for 2 to 3 hours a day. And we had been talking to Dr. Don and Susan. We've known them for years, and we know Dr. Don, and we're like, so what's the cutting edge stuff that you got out there now, guys? And Dr. Don shared the concept of these patches with us, and I was like, okay, I'm game. Let's give it a try. If nothing else, maybe it'll make me feel better, because this was a year after I had recovered that I was still having just no energy and no ability to focus or get through my day. And so they told us it would regenerate stem cells and everything you've heard today. And we were really excited to try it. And then I got it in the mail and I opened it, and I remember this call or text or whatever. I'm like, we texted him, Dr. Don, it's a Band-Aid, and we were pretty on that skeptical side. And he said, yeah, I know, but I looked at the clinical studies, and because we know and trust Dr. Don, and we knew that he understood the clinical studies a whole lot better than we would, I said, okay, we put it on our bodies. And about 10 days later, I was working in my office, building a website, and my husband came in and he said, what are we going to have for dinner? And I'm like, dinner? And I looked at the clock, and I'll never forget that moment. I was so shocked that it was 6:15, and I just had not hit that wall that day. It was crazy. I hadn't really even noticed an increase in energy until it was pointed out. It was more of a return to health kind of thing. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe this is something we could market. Maybe this is the product we've been looking for. And we had a whole checklist of things we were looking for. We wanted the company to be stable. Well, let me tell you, I started looking at this company. This company is 20 years old. We're like close to $500 million in sales last year. We're in 83 countries. We have testimonies, thousands and thousands of banked testimonies, and hundreds of clinical studies and international patents. And I'm like, wow, this company's pretty legit. And so Casey and I decided to go to the convention. And it was not because we really thought we were going to build a business. As a matter of fact, when Donna and Susan, shared the business with us, we said, okay, we'll try this. But what you need to understand is we are never, ever, never, never going to build a networking company. It was the last thing we were looking for. And so anyway, we go to the convention, we meet all these beautiful people. We saw David Schmidt for the first time on stage, and I saw his heart. And when he put a drone on the stage that he and his company had invented so that they could help people in disaster areas get relief, I was like, now that's the kind of heart I want to follow. And then I've learned from time that I've spent with each of these people that you've seen today, their heart is very much like his heart. And I can't even tell you how grateful I am to have found this company. We started after convention, we started watching the daily podcast. We have leaders that do a daily podcast. Now, I don't know if you can even fathom what that involves, but every single day, they've not missed a day. And that podcast, we started watching. And after we'd watch it, Casey and I would look at each other and go, so and so needs to hear that. Your friend Bob has neuropathy, doesn't he? What about Bill? Bill said he had arthritis, and we started telling people about the patches. Still, never going to build a business, but people need to know. Like Bob Campbell says, it would be criminal not to share. So we just started sharing with friends and family as we learned what these patches did. We just started sharing it. And we started to build a business by accident. And we got towards the end of the year, and Casey was, he was supposed to have, he was in real estate and his realtor dues were coming due. And I said, man, real estate is just really rough. The interest rates are really high. We've got all these big box competitors. And we were really, after 32 years of real estate, kind of burnt out on it. And I said, you could renew your license, but look what we've made by accident over here, just sharing, part-time. What if we were to actually try and do this on purpose? And so we started to meet with some of our leaders, and they started to share what to do and how to do it. And we've learned a whole lot during this time. And we're so grateful to have the support and the leadership. But with zero, understand we've never successfully built a network marketing company. We don't have any health background, no medical background, no science even background. Like we're not the typical person where you go, oh, that's perfect for them. They're a naturopathic doctor or, personal trainer or whatever. Like we had nothing, no background in that at all. And yet we've working together and being diligent together have built to the second highest level of the company in just over a year. And it's because of these amazing people that have spoken to you today. So our last segment, what we wanted to do is we wanted to take some time to share with you what the business side of this is about and how you can make money here at Lifewave. Casey already introduced Dr. Stacy, but I want you to know that she's got a lot of accolades to her on her resume, but she's also a rock star here at Lifewave. She is leading one of the fastest growing organizations in the entire company. In just 2 years and 8 months, she has built a company that has over $35 million per year in sales. She has studied this marketing plan and knows it better than anyone else. And Laura Balzer is a powerhouse. She's also at the very top of the company, senior presidential director. She understands exactly what it takes to succeed here at Lifewave, and she's been instrumental in helping Casey and I as well. I haven't always liked what she had to say, but it sunk in and I actually applied it. And there's no one other than these two that I'd rather have share with you what you need to know to build a successful business here and how the money side of this works. So Dr. Stacy, Laura, take it away.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to share with you guys just a little bit more here. Like Cindy said, Laura she is honest. And she's going to tell you how it is, shoot it straight from the hip. And that's why we have been such good friends for 15 years, because we can just come right at each other and say what it is and how it is and go right on and say, all right, let's keep moving and growing, right? And that's important when you're in business with someone. You want honesty, you want integrity, you want someone that's going to be there by your side and to support you and have your back, but also not scared to say, hey, you know what, I think this is what we should do. Hey, why don't we take a look at this? And that's what Laura Balzer has been with me as a business partner. We've never got to work together before. And so I'm so grateful and blessed that she was my first business partner that said, if you're doing this, I'm doing this, we're in, because we've always wanted to work together. I don't know if you've ever had that situation where you always wanted to work with somebody, but the stars never lined up for it. And boy, they sure have in Lifewave. And I can't think of a better business partner than Laura. Now, we've got a lot of amazing business partners, don't get me wrong. But we've been in this since the very first second, and I'm just so grateful for your leadership and your commitment to your team. No matter where you're at, what you're doing, you're always a quick text and or a phone call or a Zoom away. So thank you, Laura, for being here. Laura and I are going to dive into this comp plan. And you guys, I'm going to screen share again. If you know me, as a teacher, we can talk, but most of you don't learn auditory, okay, by auditory learning. Most of you are visual learners or kinesthetic. So I want you to be able to print these off. So we're going to put a link in the chat, and that is start333biz.com. I want you to go to that website later. I want you to be able to go through those big brown doors, put in that username and password, which we'll put that in the chat as well too. And we want you to be able to print these off. This was instrumental when I started in this business. I watched a quick 15-minute comp plan training with our incredible upline Marcy Preble and my bestie sideline brother Peter No. 15 minutes, they said, print this off, go do this, and I'm like, done. And that's what Laura and I want to provide for you today, because this business really is simple. It's consistency and staying plugged in, connected to those of us that are rocking and rolling, right? We're all locking arms. And like Cindy said, we are one of the fastest growing teams in the entire company because we do stay consistent and we do have a very simple system. So let's screen share. Laura, I want you to dive into this 2-page hot sheet with us. We're going to look at page 1. So talk to everybody about our first way we make money in Lifewave.
Well, you guys, first of all, it's incredible. So I'm going to try to keep my excitement down, because every time we get together, we get crazy about it. Like Stacy said, we start talking fast, but there are 4 different ways that we can make money. Anybody can purchase this product through a wholesale pack and sell retail, right? Anybody can have the ability to do that. And many do. However, if you really want to unlock and take full advantage of our compensation plan, you really kind of want to look at number 2 here, the product introduction bonus. Now, Stacy and I have been in the industry for a very long time. And if I remember correctly, Stacy, this is the first time we have been a part of a company that actually rewards you for helping people get started on their wellness journey, on their health journey. So this plays a really important part in our compensation. It's brilliant. So you'll see here in number 2, the product introduction bonus. When you help somebody get started on a bronze pack, okay, this is a smaller pack. It just holds 1 X39. Okay, Stacy's circling it there. When you get someone started with that pack, you're going to receive what we call a PIB, or a product introduction bonus, of $15 right off the bat. Okay, if we move to the right a little bit, or maybe it's your left, I'm not sure, the silver pack, you'll see that the silver packs cost $299.95. It comes with 3 sleeves of X39, but it also gives us the ability to start customizing a little bit for the client to help them with their specific needs. But when I get that person started there, I'm going to receive a product introduction bonus of $50. We move on to the gold pack. That's $499. Again, up to 5 sleeves of X39. But we are, again, able to add more when we start customizing between X39, 49 in our supporting patches. And then you will receive a PIB immediately. And as we get up into the larger packs, you'll see the platinum pack here, which moves up a little bit more in price. But the PIB here is $150. Now, the diamond pack. Now, this is where kind of a funny conversation. Stacy and I came in together. Stacy originally bought the platinum pack because remember, she wasn't going to do the business and she was going to provide this for her family only until we sat in front of David Schmidt that day. And then we reached out to Marcy because, yes, we wanted to share this, but it's also very important to see what you're getting involved in. And I hope this is helping you guys here today. When Stacy and I said we were going to do that, she opted in and upgraded from the platinum to the diamond. And I said, well, if you're going diamond, I got to go diamond because I'm not going to leave any money on the table. So let me explain that to you just a little bit. If somebody purchases a diamond pack and I'm signing them up, normally I would receive a product introduction bonus of $200. But since I have purchased the diamond pack and I am going to build a business, I am going to share this. For the next 14 weeks, is it 14?
Yes.
Did I just say 14? Yep, it is 14. For the next 14 weeks, instead of me receiving $200 when I sign up another diamond pack, I'm going to be able to make $500. Now, Stacy and I moved very, very quickly when we came into the business. Stacy and I signed up the same minute, like I couldn't throw my credit card to her quick enough. She instantly called 4 people that she knew would want this product. Stacy, within a 6-hour period, possibly less, okay, recouped her investment of the $15.99 immediately because she signed up 3 diamonds and 1 gold. I did the same thing within a 24-hour period. So you guys can see how beneficial it is if you're going to opt in and to build a business, because we are talking business here, how this pack can facilitate instant growth within your business, because it not only gives you the ability to get that larger PIB when you sign somebody up with a platinum or a diamond pack, it also gives you the availability to share and gift the patches if you so choose. And you know, that was one thing Marcy said to us. We're a gifting company. You certainly don't have to do it, but I have found that gifting works. Stacy and I are always under the impression that you do what the people did that have gone before you. So buying that diamond pack really, really helped us move forward very quickly in the business. Right, Stace?
Absolutely. And I want to share something with you guys. You know, at the beginning, when I had shared that I found this at a wellness center, I walked out the door, didn't bat an eye, spent $150 retail for that 1 sleeve of X39. Mm-hmm. No, that man did not share with me any other option. Okay. He was just selling them off the shelf in his wellness center. When April called me, my good friend of 20 years, April Vaughn, called me and told me of her experience and that this was something that was going to help her daughter. She said, hey, they have these wholesale packs. You can buy in bulk and get a better discount. For me, that's what I wanted. I'm all about the best deal, right? If I could buy more, I'd rather buy more and have a discount. And so I looked at the patches that I wanted for myself, my son, my husband, and my daughter, and we came up with that platinum pack. So that's all I was going to do. Like Laura said, no interest in building a business. Nope, I'm good. We just want the product. Didn't even know this was a multi-level marketing company. Didn't care. I do not care. And for me, that's the thing. Some people are hung up like, oh, I will not buy an MLM. I'm like, why? You are missing some of the best products on the market at the best price shipped to your door. Why would I ever want to go and support Walmart or Costco, these big box names? God knows what's in their products. I want the best price shipped to me. I'm busy. My time is important and my money is important. I value those things. And so buying online at the best price at the best discount makes the most sense. Well, then after Laura and I went, of course, like she said, we both, opted, I upgraded to diamond. You just pay the difference.
Yeah.
So I want you to understand that any pack that you come in with, if you want to upgrade from silver to gold, I highly recommend that. Silver pack
Absolutely.
costs you $300. It's only $200 difference you pay. You can get 2 more sleeves, X39 and X49. Yes.
There's those balloons.
There's those balloons. I swear I don't do that. My AI just listens to me. But the thing I love about upgrading from silver to gold is you get a free supporter patch of your choice. Every time you upgrade, you are getting free sleeves of product. That is a beautiful component of upgrading. So if you haven't upgraded yet from your silver to your gold, or your gold to platinum, or platinum to diamond, do that. You're going to get more patches and the price point comes down. So if you look here, that's $99 is the unit price. Hello, $84 is the unit price for your X39s and 49s and your platinum and diamond. But I really want to focus on this diamond for a second. So I upgraded to diamond. Laura came in with a diamond. I signed up my friend with a diamond, my husband with a diamond, and I signed up another friend with a gold, all within those first couple hours. And so, yes, I did make my money back, but I was able to help friends and family members get these patches at the best price, and me earning the best price on my product introduction bonus, right? My bonus from the company. So that is a beautiful component of this. Now, I called April and I said, hey, I'm doing this as a business. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm only a gold pack. How do I get to diamond then? If you did diamond, I need to do diamond to get a bigger bonus. I said, girl, just log in, click on store and upgrade kits and change it to diamond and pay your difference, and you get your difference in patches. So of course she did that immediately, right? So that's a beautiful thing about this company. You can always do that after the fact if it's within that same commission pay week, right? We start our week on Monday, end on Sunday. So as long as it's within that same week, you've got someone that comes in diamond, you can always upgrade yourself as long as it's by Sunday at the close of the night. But I want to share something else with you on diamond. If you look down here where it says $390 first month, $110 second, $110 third, when you purchase the diamond pack, you're getting a lot of product. You're not going to use that in a month, right? Unless you're in an office. Like the guy that sold me retail, he was going through those X39s like this, right? It's easy to go through 19 sleeves of X39 in a month if you have an office. That's a no-brainer. But for your average person, we don't do that. We take out some of those X39s. We add in some of the supporter patches that we want for our family. And so your first month, the company drops in that $390 in bonus volume or points. Those mean the same thing. But the second month, so say you bought your diamond pack this month today, this is January. In February, the company drops in, they call it a trickle order of 110 in bonus volume. So you were commission qualified and active. They do the same thing in March. They'll drop in an additional 110. So you're commission qualified and active. So you wouldn't actually need to place another order again until April to be commission qualified. That's huge. Right? This is they're saying buy what you want, buy what you need. But if you're going to buy this big pack, you're not going to need anything for a while. Now, of course, you can order, but they do this for you as a perk, a bonus. And then, like Laura said, you are actually paid at, and let me explain this, the senior director level for 14 weeks. What that means is you're getting this blue box. When you enroll, if you're a diamond and you enroll a diamond, it's 500. If you're a diamond and you enroll a platinum, it's 300 PIB. That happens for 14 weeks from the day that you are a diamond, or until you promote to senior director. Once you hit the rank of senior director or above, you get these higher PIBs for life. I hit senior director in 3 weeks. Never went below it since, obviously. Now I'm at senior presidential director. And so I always get the 500 when I enroll a diamond and 300 when I enroll a platinum. So just know that that perk helps you brand new people when you're just getting started. You've got your diamond pack and it helps you get your investment back, like Laura said. You know, I have somebody that last week they signed up, you know, some diamonds. They made $3,300 that week as a director because of having this higher PIB. That's a big difference, right? 200 versus 500. So just so you understand, there are a lot of benefits of being a diamond pack. So
well, you know, Stacy, I remember when you and I ordered ours, we were amazed at how many packs we actually got in that pack. I mean, I think I got up to 40 different sleeves because you and I wanted them all on our body, right? Like we wanted them all. So I just feel like, yes, you have the time to upgrade at any time, but wow, it really provides a lot.
I agree. So Laura, let's talk about these binary commissions. Let's go into a little bit more detail with the third way that we make money in Lifewave.
So I love this. You know, when Stacy and I started, I had never worked a binary before. And I have learned that a true, well-designed binary really puts you in the position to really help other people on your team. We all come up together. There's no other way to do this because there is a right side and a left side only that we're dropping people down, okay? There's also people above us who are also enrolling people. So I want you to look right here at this binary commissions. As you'll see, you, okay, there, oh, thank you for that. That helps me so much. You, but then on your left side, you're going to be enrolling people, and on your right side, you're going to enroll in people. And as these people come in, the volume starts to grow, not only from your enrollments, but those who are enrolling above you. Well, when one side gets to be 330 and the other side becomes 660 in volume points, you will make a $50 cycling bonus. Now, Stacy and I can attest that once you get this ball rolling, these $50 cycling bonuses add up very, very quickly, okay? So as you can see, if Stacy, make that just a little bit bigger, a little bit, there you go. As you'll see here, you'll move up through the ranks, okay? You'll become a manager.
Let me do that.
Okay.
That's as close as I can get it for.
No, it's perfect. It's beautiful. So as you're continuing to build your volume and you're attaining these cycling bonuses, you're going to start moving up through the ranks. Okay, our first rank is manager. Okay, so that is only enrolling 2 people on your left side and 2 people on your right side that hold a silver or above pack. Okay, silver or above. You saw silver, gold, platinum, and diamond just a bit ago. Prior to becoming a manager, you can only cycle twice and make $100 weekly. Now, an extra $400 a week is amazing. That's a lot of money. But as you continue to enroll people, help them choose their pack, and you become a manager, you've now given yourself the ability to cycle up to 30 times and make $1,500 a week. Okay. As you continue on and you're building managers and you're helping your people grow, director, you can make up to $2,500 a week. Senior director, which you heard Stacy just speak about, is $3,500 a week. Executive director is $7,500 a week. Presidential director is $12,500 in cycling bonuses only. Stacy and I are both senior presidential directors, and we have the ability to max out the cycling bonuses at $25,000 a week. And I am here to share with you, with as crazy as that might sound, we have many, many people on our team that is doing just that. Right, Stacy? I mean, it's incredible. But this is where it goes to show that we are truly, totally in this together. And us staying connected, like Stacy spoke of, is what creates this type of momentum and activity in the business.
I love that. And you know, you heard from Dr. Dawn and Susan. They are both senior presidential directors. You heard from Cindy and Casey. They are both presidential directors. And we know with over 700 people on here today, there were many people that are at the ranks of manager, director, senior director, and executive director that are also on here today. So it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 people. We actually have over 100 in Team Evolve, over 100 people that are at the executive director and above rank. And we have a team goal of reaching over 300 people this year that are going to achieve the rank of executive director, presidential and senior presidential director. And we know that is going to be a reality because of the momentum that's happening in Lifewave. With the release of X39, we have only gone up, 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 up in our sales year after year. They're hitting over 400 million in sales last year. That is a substantial amount of growth. And that means that we are impacting not just a few people's lives, but hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and actually millions of people around the globe that are using our product. And so, as Laura mentioned, these points on each side, the thing I love about our binary is, like I said, our commission pay period starts on Monday and it ends on Sunday. And whatever points come in through your entire organization, from new enrollments, from reorders, from people on their monthly subscription, all of these points carry up to you. And so you have the ability each week, every time there's a 660 and 330, doesn't matter which leg it's on, you will earn a $50 cycle bonus. And guess what? If you don't get paid on all the volume on 1 week, it is carried over to the next week. That volume is what we call banked. And it will be banked week after week, month after month for an entire year. This company does not run January 1st through January 31st. Laura and I, and I'm sure many of you remember all too well, the push at the end of the month to hurry up and reach a goal. And then everyone was exhausted and they didn't do anything the first week of the next month. And you started that rat race again. The thing I love about Lifewave is because we do get paid weekly, and we get paid all the different ways weekly, there's no race. If you don't promote to the next rank by Sunday, no problem. We'll do it again next week, right? And any volume that you're not paid on is carried over. No problem. As long as you're active, that volume banks week after week after week, month after month after month. Some people have millions of dollars in volume banked on one leg. Some have hundreds of thousands. Some don't have any. Everyone's business looks different. It is your responsibility to build your right leg and your left leg. And as I dive into the fourth part of this compensation plan, it's going to be very apparent that you do follow that structure of building a right leg and a left leg if you want to personally open up all the levels in our compensation plan. So you've heard the retail option, of course, you've heard the PIB, you've heard the cycle bonus. Let's talk about this commission matching bonus. So I'm going to give you a really easy example here, okay? I enrolled Laura. Laura is my first generation, okay? She's not direct to me. We only have a right and a left leg. I actually signed my husband up direct to me in that spot. And then my other friend went on my other side. Lindsay went on my top of my right. Laura's second down, but it doesn't matter because I enrolled her. She could be 700 down. She could be 7,000 down. She's still my first generation because I enrolled her, okay? So she's my first gen. So I'm active. This is me in the gray box, right? I'm active. I have at least my 110 every month. I'm paid as a manager or above. Well, because I enrolled Laura, when Laura cycles, so when she makes $50, Lifewave pays me 25% of that. It's $12.50. If Laura makes $100 a week, you can see this right here, then I'm going to make $25. The company will pay me 25%. Laura makes $1,000 a week in her cycle bonus. I'm going to earn 25% of that. Laura makes $25,000 as a senior presidential director in her cycle bonus a week. I get 25% of that. This gen match is huge. This is where Lifewave says, hey, we're not only going to help you to go help people get healthy, we're actually going to help you to help people make money. And we help anybody and everybody in our organization because all of their volume carries up to us. It does not matter. And obviously, you guys are on Team Evolve. A lot of you here are underneath other leaders' legs. and we're all working together. That's why you saw us last year at all the regional events, and you're going to see us this year at all the regional events. And I'm going to save a couple minutes here at the end to talk about our huge event that's coming up very soon that we want everyone in the company to be at. But knowing that you are paid to help people make money in your organization is very, very lucrative part of this compensation plan. And Laura enrolled Leah. Leah is a senior presidential director now. She is my second gen. So I'm active. Of course I am. I buy at least an X39 and an Eon every month, and I'm active. That's a no-brainer. You don't stock or inventory. You just buy what you use. I'm paid as a manager above, of course. Now, this part right here says I have to have 6 cycles in a paid commission weekly. That means I'm earning 6 of these, which is $300 in commissions in cycle bonus. If I do that, that means I've got my volume 660 and 330 to where it's paying me 6 cycles, then I'm going to earn 20% off of what Leah earns as a cycle bonus. So if Leah's earning $1,000 a week, I'm earning 20%. If Leah's earning $5,000 a week, I'm earning 20%. Okay, that is huge. I did not know Leah. I did not know Leah at all, but I do now, right? Okay, so let's take it down another level. Leah has enrolled Andy. Andy is a presidential director. Andy is my 3rd gen. I have all of these requirements. I'm active. I'm a manager above, right? I have at least 3 active personally enrolled silvers on each leg. Of course I do. I have to be paid as any rank above manager. So that means I'm at least a director, right? I have at least 1 personally sponsored distributor earning level 2 matching on each leg. So that means if I have Laura earning this right here, which means she's earning at least $300 a week in cycle, and I have Gayla on my right leg earning at least $300 a month or $300 a week in cycle, 6 cycles per week, I'm cycling at least 10 times, which means I'm earning $500 in cycle per week. If all this is checked, then I'm going to pick up this 3rd gen and earn 20% off of what Andy is earning weekly in her cycle bonus. So let me paint a big picture for you, okay? Some people that you sign up are going to be just customers. They're going to enjoy that silver above pack. They're going to love the product, the wholesale pricing, the freedom, the flexibility to order whatever they want, whenever they want. Some people are going to decide, I need to share this with others, just like Laura and I did. And they're going to decide that they want to invite people to our Zooms. They want to connect people, connect with them locally, however that works for you and your organization, what you want to do. But they're going to then decide to actually build a business. And so no matter how many people you've personally enrolled, they're all your 1st generation. Every single one you've enrolled, okay? Everyone is your 1st gen. Every single person that decides to go and share, every person that decides to go and share and signs up other people as they could be just customers, right? That's your 2nd gen. And if those people decide to share, that's the 3rd gen. Okay, so if I've enrolled, let's say I've enrolled 10 people that decide they want to build a business. All 10 of them are my 1st gen. They go and sign up other people that want to build a business. Okay, maybe they sign up 20 total. Say there's 20 total, right? Then they're all my 2nd gen. Then those 20 decide to go and sign up 40. I'm just throwing numbers out there for you guys. Those 40 are all my 3rd gen. The company pays you on every single 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gen in your gen match. So when I open that tab on my commissions, it's very, very long. It does not fit on the screen. I scroll. I'm like, oh, I need to get to know these people. I don't even know who these people are. Who is this person, right? And so that is the beautiful thing of leveraging your time, of having your own goals, your own dreams, your own plans, your own calendar, but saying, hey, I want to lock arms with people. And people know people. People know people around the globe. We work time zones in this business, right? We have calendars that schedule our Zooms no matter what time zone someone is in. And so we're working online to help people globally. We're working in person, and we're also traveling, though, some of us, because we love to do that. I love to travel. Not all of you have to have that same passion. It's always been mine, though. It's not new with Lifewave. Lifewave's just given me the ability to be able to do it at a much larger scale, right? And so we want to talk to you about an event that's taking place. We have been working behind the scenes tirelessly on the logistics of this, and it all finally just came together this past week. David Schmidt, the inventor of Lifewave, the owner of the company, CEO David Schmidt, is coming to Orlando, Florida. I want you to write this down. He is coming to Orlando, Florida, and it is going to be February the 24th. I am putting a link in the chat for all of you to see. This will also be on the Team Evolve business page and the Team Evolve Telegram. So don't worry if you don't know how to copy and paste from the chat, or your phone or iPad won't let you. As soon as we hop off here in a few minutes, we will definitely have this out. But I want you to understand that David has agreed, as he did last year so generously, and the year before for me so generously, agreed to come and do an event for our teams in person. He will spend 3 hours with us that morning on the 24th. He will do a deep dive into the product, the science, the tech. He will have PowerPoint, and he will share his vision, his heart, this is our 20-year anniversary. So he has a lot of things that are going to be announced at Vision in a couple weeks. And he said after Vision, he and I are going to do a Zoom session the first part of February to talk about what he's going to share next. So at Vision, he's going to release some new information, share what's coming out product-wise here soon, but he wants to be able to bring new information to us in February. Now, I want you to understand that this February event is not going to be recorded. It is not going to be virtually Zoomed or posted, YouTubed, or anything like that. And the reason why is because this is a very special in-person event, and we feel it's very important to have everyone present. And so if you are interested in coming, please get your ticket on that link. Please know that the seating will be limited. We only have seating for 1,000 people in this location. It's the best we could do. We tried really hard to get a larger venue, and that's all we could be able to come up with. It is in Orlando. It is in a beautiful part of Orlando. It is 7 minutes from the airport. If you have not flown into Orlando, Allegiant has flights for like $50. We know that Frontier, Spirit, JetBlue, of course, your Delta, Southwest, American Airlines all fly in to these airports, so you can find that information. We will also have this on the Biz site, start333biz.com, and we will have hotels listed that are close to the area, but you do need to secure your ticket. So it is definitely a first come, first serve. The tickets are $35. That cost literally is going to cover some of the expense of the venue and be able to, provide this 1-day training for you. So David will be in the morning for 3 hours. We will take a break for lunch, and we will come back and we will provide you with 3 hours of business training from many leaders in our organization that will share training about this income opportunity. You guys, then we're going to take a break for dinner. We're going to come back for an after party. We've got a party with a DJ. We've got Dr. Don's going to be there. He's going to be playing his guitar and singing. We've got Mark's going to be on the mic and running our sound and everything, our audio visual throughout the whole day. And so we're definitely going to have a big party that night. It is free. The party is free. It doesn't cost anything for the party. So we want you to be able to come and have community and connection. And the venue allows us to take that full time in that same location, and the location is listed on the link as well too. So Laura, I'm going to turn it over to you to wrap us up for the afternoon.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's a responsibility. I do want to say one more thing before we close out. If you're on here as a guest and you're going to pop off and you're going to get with the person that invited you here today, you're going to get started on your patches, I think that's fabulous. I think it's a must do. I encourage you to do that. But if you're somebody on here as well that is just using the product as a client and you hold one of those wholesale packs, please know We would love for you to come to Orlando. You do not have to be sharing and building to come and take advantage of being in front of David for that time, because it will be life-changing. So like I said, please get back with the person that invited you here. They will be able to customize for you. They'll be able to walk you through anything you need. Like Dr. Stacy said, we are all one big team. We help each other. We work together. So we're going to make sure you get the information you need. Other than that, we cannot thank you enough for spending your Saturday, mid-morning, early afternoon with us. We're very grateful to have your time. We love being with you guys. So until next time, hopefully in Orlando, we will see you all very, very soon. But I have to give a shout out to Dr. Don and Susan Verholt, who, as well as Cindy and Casey Johnson, who have put this whole event together in Michigan. And the skies opened up with a blizzard. And so we put this thing together for you. So Don, Susan, Cindy, and Casey, thank you so much. And Dr. Stacy, as always, thank you for all the information that you share. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, Laura. We look forward to seeing all of you. The event for David is open for every single brand partner in the entire company.
Yes.
Anyone and everyone is welcome. So we look forward to seeing you all in Orlando next month. Have a fantastic week.